Yes. Yes, y'all. You know, Suze, you know the magic phrase that pays. Is it Thursday yet? Is it Thursday yet? Hello, all my feeds out there. That's what's up. Hello. Well, hello. You know the universal greeting for the JN Network brand of podcast. Well, hello. You know what it is. Back again. What's up, puppy power? What can I say? It's the best day of the week. What's up, Fletch? Yes, y'all. El Jamal in the building. What's going on? I see my caffeine's coming in, checking in for duty. Hey, what's up, Myra? It's good to see you. What up, Big Red? Suze, Fletch, El Jamal. It's a nice smattering of caffeines to start off the show. Hope everybody's well. We got here again, y'all. But some of our people, I don't know. I think there's some people who are at New York Comic Con right now. And if you're at the con, I'll forgive you if you don't tune in to Coffee Break this week. Sorry, you guys. I'm kind of burning the candle again, so I'm a little punchy. So hopefully it won't come through in the show. Yo, what up, Matt? Sip of coffee for Matt Waringo. Oh, look, and I got a full cup tonight. Sometimes I come in with I'm not trying to fill it to the brim, but I need it tonight. Matt says, I wish someone had asked if it was Thursday yet this morning. I had to chase down the sanitation truck with my trash can today. Oh, that's the worst. You know that when you wake up and you hear that, you're like, shit. And I don't know what's worse, if you have to kind of do the Superman dash out the door in your tube socks, dragging the trash behind you, or just letting it go to next week. What would you do? I'd love to hear that. No, notorious. What's up, JRD? JRD broke my back. It ain't hard to tell this this week, but it's always good. It's always good to get questions from you. What's up, brother? Big Joe says, I wish I could have gone, but work beckons. I feel you. Sue says, can we just get clear from the start? There's no decaf allowed up in here. As this coffee breaks only for the sexy people. No decaf. If you get the yips or you get the shakes or the Jimmy legs or whatever, and you can't have caffeine, I don't know what to tell you. But, I don't want you to go against doctor's orders. You do what's good for you. But as far as the caffeines go, I just got to do it now. I got to tell you, you know who you are. You know who the caffeines are. I'm in the wrong joint. Hold on. That's why I can't find it. You know who you are. Friends and regulars. Tell them Sue's not decaf of Coffee Break with JN. This is my gang. In high school, I was labeled a ringleader. They said that people are attracted to my light. I take that very seriously. I use my powers for good, not evil. And we come here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. EST, the greatest man alive. Oh, yeah, the Act Nicholas one. For Tabernacle. I need you as much as you need me. And we tell them, Suze, we don't do decaf up in here. That's right. There's no orange tops up in here. Only brown. Thanks for joining me. You get a case of the yips. Get off the golf course. You got the shaky hands. JRD says, had decaf earlier, Suze. There's decaf for my health. JRD gets a pass. You're an Avenger now, kid. You're good, JRD. He's the only one, nobody else. But for Coffee Break with JN, always full steam ahead. Now, don't you go diet on my watch. Don't get on me. Myra says, New York Comic Con, wish I could go. You know, I got a lot of love for my man, Mighty Mike Negan. Sip of coffee from Mike. Mike's on the front lines trying to get New York Comic Con up and back to its full operational battle station status. Wasn't in the cards for me this year. It's the world's too crazy for me. I'm sure every protocol and everything has been put in order to make it a safe and fun show. I hope to see Mike and his crew next year. And it's also kind of tough for me right now because, I mean, on top of how the world is, that I'm in between projects, meaning, you know, obviously everybody knows at this point that I'm doing Leon for Scholastic Graphics, and the first book comes out in August of 22. So in between that time, it's just, you know, I'm kind of like in the middle of a no promotion zone. And I'm going to be at Baltimore Comic Con at the end of the month, and I'm going to have some handouts and some giveaways and some other fun stuff. But, you know, it hit different, as they say, when you're not actively selling things. So, anyway, good luck to all of those people storming the castle in New York this week and weekend. Matt says, "Oh, it was full up. It was a chase the truck, a drive to the landfill. Oh man, you had like a three can day, a 3-can week. How does it work in your township or province or county or city or neighborhood? Because I know a lot of people don't have. Some places don't have recycling. I know that sounds crazy, but I know it's true. Some places have your trash day is on one day and your recycling day is on another day, or your trash day is one day and recycling, but recycling's every other week. How does that work for you guys? And do you get charged if you have too much trash? We could talk about this for like 2 hours because everybody's got to put the trash out. Jared says, apologies, JN. I will watch It Ain't Hard to Tell tonight. Was watching The Artist with Kidlit for her film class. Oh, very cool. I like enrichment. It's not going anywhere. Go check it out. I feel you. What up, Jim Luhan? Jim Luhan, give a plug for your newest animation. I have to go check it out. I'm woefully behind. Oh, and Jim, I was talking you up the other night. But you weren't around. Jim says, in between projects is that land that I don't like doing. A habit, not comfortable living there. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, I know back when, what I said to my agent today, I said, you know, I've lived the life as an exhibiting journeyman for a long period of time. I'm used to con season. I'm used to getting stuff to the printer, having stock, making new things, making new merch, making sure I have more I Met Jamar stickers on deck to get it, load up the car. I'm sure all of you guys back in the before times had your con bag or your con box with all your stuff, like your tablecloth and your literature standy things, your banners, because next weekend you got a show. And it's hard to break out of thinking in that mode. You know what I mean? And that's probably one of the things that I'm dealing with right now with this new chapter of my life of being an author at Scholastic. Is, you know, I'm sure there's still going to be more of that, but it's different now. Right. So I'm still trying to find my way through that, but I'm kind of itchy. I'm like, yo, it's con season. What are we doing? But I feel you, bro. Like even if you don't have a project, you still show up with something. You got to keep something in the chamber. That's right, Matt. JRD says, our kids of comics brethren, Javier Winnick is at table B4 if anyone is out there and wants to support good people. Look at you. Look at you doing plugs on a coffee break. I love it. Oh, didn't I think you just said that, Jim? That's right. I'll be in the building. Because hey, who are we kidding? What's Baltimore Comic Con without Jamar? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I haven't missed a Baltimore Comic Con in years. I braved a car accident to get to Baltimore Comic Con. I got into a almost a damn near wreck on my way to Baltimore, and I got in the car, kept driving, and I showed up on the con floor. You guys remember? That's my love for Baltimore. It's real. That's right. So talking about trash, Matt says recycling is every other Monday, but they're shorthanded, so they're really behind. So does that mean every other Monday they're supposed to come, but they may not, so they come on Tuesday, or they may get it or they may not? That's frustrating. I know when you put the trash out and there's something going on and it doesn't happen. I know like Philly has been notorious over the decades of having trash strikes or some sort of trash drama, and the trash starts building up. Hey, if you live in New York, you know what that's about. It was not cool, and usually those trash things happen in the middle of a heat wave. Yo, what up, Joel? It's good to see Joel as a caffeine in good standing. What up, Joel? Joel says, and then you have to research if your county actually recycles. Yeah, some places don't recycle. I was somewhere. I can't remember where we were. I think we're in South Carolina for a hot minute. Now they don't recycle. Well, where I was. JRD remarks on the evil empire, the HOA. Stacy's outside with a clipboard and she says, your grass is too high. You're going to have to do something about that. So 2 trash pickup days, 1 for recycling. Yeah. Mac, I know, brother. El Jamal says, we only have dumpsters here. We only got dumpsters up in here. No recycling dumpster because people throw their trash into the recycling dumpster. And you know what? I got to give maybe a sip of coffee for those people that have to deal with our trash wherever they are. That magical place where your trash goes and somebody has got to go through it. I think people don't think about that. And I take recycling really seriously, not like I'm some green guy, but it's like, there's rules on the recycling thing. Once in a while, the city will put out a thing. It says, these are the things you're supposed to put in the trash can. And some of the things are a little surprising, like your takeout or to-go containers. Like, say you got Chinese food, and now I don't know how it is where you are, but almost every Chinese takeout spot has like fairly decent Tupperware that they put your food in. Like, I think the only thing that's left that they still put in a little white fold-up container is like rice, and everything else has these really cool, like, they're like, it's like Tupperware. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have got that's their Tupperware in their houses, Chinese takeout container. But some, I can't remember. I think they said they don't like you throwing that stuff in the recycling. But that doesn't seem like trash either, right? So, if you are throwing away, say you finished your jar of chunky salsa, can you wash that out and put the can in there? Like, don't just like be done and just throw the dirty shit in the recycle. Like, that makes me mad. I'm not even dealing with this stuff. Like, just clean the stuff out, rinse that out, right? And make sure it's dry. Like, make somebody's job easier. Don't be so selfish. Big Red says private trash once a week, recycling every other week, same day. So it's on off, on off, on off. Mm-hmm. Yo, where's my points, bro? Anything that's come from my mind, JRD, I want my points. Stickers. Gah. I knew I was forgetting something. My wife wants me to make notorious JRT sticker. Yo, just back the truck up right to my table, give you my cut, and you can do whatever you want. Yo, we're not. My comments thing isn't flashing, but there's a bunch of things down here. Let me try to blaze through these. El Jamal says, I do outdoor art festivals now, and I have one this weekend. It's no longer a con box, it's a production. Yeah, like I just saw images of my man Chris Schweitzer, who we had on Pencil to Pencil, has an amazing booth set up. And it looks like there's a crafty cat. And it's just like, you're not putting that in the backseat of your car. JRT said, well, yeah, I did. Yeah, that happened. But I still came to Baltimore, right? I want my points. Oh wow, you're recycling guy. Rain or shine. Hashtag trash drama. JRD says, dude, our HOA has someone who actually goes through trash if a bag shows up before the 7 p.m. deadline to see who threw it out early. They actually go through your shit to see where it came from. Yo, I know that sounds crazy. It is crazy a little bit, but I guess rules are rules, right? You pay to live in a thing that has this HOA and they have rules. And if you want to keep keep your clout up and for the greater good of the community, you gotta cut your grass, bruh. You gotta follow those rules, bruh. Right? Because then it's almost like if you went to college and if you spent time in the dorms and you had an RA or something, and people are always mad at the RA, like, yo, my RA sucks. He doesn't let me get away with anything. He's not supposed to. Or my RA is cool. He lets me get away with everything. I think we're just kind of it's baked into us to always want a hookup. And I'm not even talking about UJRD. It's just kind of like our culture of people who try to enforce rules. You know what I mean? Yo, the RA just knocked on the door and said, cut it out, or the next time he comes over here, we're all getting written up. Oh, he sucks. No, he's on duty, and you're loud. I could talk about that all day. And yeah, Matt, to that point, gotta rinse that stuff out. Rinse out your recycling, y'all. Yo, what up, ma'am? Someone has to clean out and sort the recycling for the trash. Yeah, yes. Someone, yeah, that's somebody's job. And even if somebody has to physically put it on a belt and it goes down the thing, somebody's got to look through that stuff. So that mayonnaise jar you really didn't feel like rinsing out is somebody. I think they throw it off the line because you can't recycle it. I'm sure they have a really smelly discard pile just for things like that. I mean, I'm the same person that tells college kids at Thanksgiving time to go home and don't sleep the whole time. Go get up and help. What do you do when you go home for Thanksgiving? I just go to sleep, and then I wake up and eat in my sweatpants, and then I go back to sleep. It's like you're a resource drain on your family, right? How dare I? Right? But it's like, come on, you got to start somewhere. Oh, my mother never tells me to help because you suck. That's why. And you're probably moping and making a lot of noise and blowing air out of your mouth the whole time you're in the kitchen. They don't want you around. Just get out of the house, go somewhere and come back and freeload and then go back to school. We'll all be better off. You guys got me rambling. Myra says, been to the East Coast only once. Was at JFK. Hotel wait for a delayed flight nearby. Huh. Nice taxi driver saved my butt and gave me a free trip to the airport. One of the nicest guys I've met. Well, that's pretty good. I'm sure there's lots of horror stories. But it doesn't hurt when people want to look out for you. Yo, what up, E? E says, I'm out of the country a bit, but less than a mile from the recycling center. So it wasn't a big deal to drive up to it there. For the past couple of years, though, the county has started picking up once a week, which is nice. Yeah. And uh, in town, we have the recycling. I guess it's I don't really I'm never really around watching them, but the truck shows up and it's one of those things that has the forks and it grabs the recycling thing and it suplexes it into the trash into the back of the truck. But sometimes they miss, right? There's usually a guy like a mummer I'm showing my Philly who walks in front of the truck and just kind of like if somebody turned the trash can the wrong way, they'll turn it around or something like that. And then the guy in the truck, I think, has to like remember that episode of Knight Rider where he's got the Atari joystick, has to like guide it in, or maybe there's a magnet. I don't know how it works, but I know there's some rules where if your trash can lid is not for the recycling, if your lid doesn't close, they may not pick up your recycling. Like say if it's stuffed with IKEA boxes and the lid is up, they might not take it. Jardu says, "Oh man, our county is nuts. They will recycle all paper and most plastic, but not glass." Yep. Joel says there's numbers on the plastic containers. I get a pamphlet saying what they'll take and what hold things up. Right? And in some places they'll charge you. Like they'll take it or they'll just leave it. Or you might get a thing in your mailbox like, bruh, you owe us $30. Joe says, wish we were more like Europe. 2 or 3 types of recycling. Cardboard, food for composting, glass, plastic. It's a lot. Matt says, we soak the cat food cans to get every bit out. Yeah, like just, I feel like that's the least we can do. JRD, you're like the captain at KLC. Schweitzer will be parts of Kids Love Comics. Oh, Schweitzer's coming? I'd like to meet him. I've never met him in person. I'm not touching that one. Fletch says, same day for trash and recycling. I swear I've seen the same truck grab each container and dump it in the same hole. So I don't know if they're actually recycling. Just training us to recycle, I guess. That's right. Joel says, I stopped doing cons even before the pandemic. I rarely make table. They're fun, but I just don't have enough of a name. Come on, Joel. Everybody knows who you are, bro. We should talk. JRD says, what drives me nuts is some places turn unrecyclable plastic into super strong bricks for inexpensive housing. Need that countrywide. Yeah, I just heard about that. I saw some picture of somebody holding this like brick, and there was like, you couldn't break this brick if you tried, and it's made out of old like Arthur Treacher's to-go containers. That's wild, man. Science is crazy. Yeah. Oh, but Matt means salty as in salty language, working blue, not salty like the kids say it, like you're low key mad / embarrassed. One of my favorite young people things is low key and high key, which whatever. Suze, oh, you know what? I think we need a freeze frame. Suze pose. Freeze frame. Suze pose. Let me get back to you, Suze. And also, before I read this, you guys, what's up with the Suze pose challenge? I have not a lot of Suze pose entries. I said we are going to do it tonight. I forgot to talk to Suze because I want Suze to judge the Suze pose challenge. I'm going to give it one more week, and then that's it. And then that's all. But what I want to do is I want you to send me your best Suze pose. You can take a selfie or take a photo booth, whatever, on your desktop or your iPad of you doing your best Suze pose. and you send it to me. Don't post it public on socials, like DM me or message me or text me or whatever. And then I'm going to give them to Suze, and Suze is going to judge, and whatever Suze says goes. You know how that works. And the winner will be announced here, hopefully next week, and they'll get a fat pack from me. So Sue says, "Yeah, why did we end the glass recycling we had in the '70s? Bring all your soda bottles to the grocery store to recycle. Guess that's when we went to plastic." Sigh. Yeah, I mean, I remember. I mean, that was a big part of just growing up in the city. Like everything was glass, like a Canada Dry bottle, like you just finished with your black cherry Wishniak, and then you just smash it on the sidewalk. Or if you ever broke the side of a Mountain Dew bottle in half and then like threaten somebody with it. Yo, I'm so Philly, it's crazy. But you can't do that with a plastic bottle. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear more about that. Joel said he had the dry snitch on the recycling truck. I had to take pics one week. The robo truck ripped off the lids of like four neighbors' can. Yo, Skynet is active. That's right. I love it. Joel Jared D says, Joel, we should share a booth and call ourselves those guys. That's not a bad idea. Sue's pose. I just did a Sue's pose. Let's do another one. That was a good one. Yo, what up, Ange? Ange says, ha ha, ha ha. Yo, have you ever watched old Ric Flair promos when he was just on full tilt and he would go, ha ha, point at the camera? It's so fun. Yo, Ric Flair's like trying to get canceled right now, but Ric Flair, man. Angela says, haha, I'm so happy Susan's going to be the judge. Of course. It's only correct that the queen of coffee break would be the host of her own pose challenge. Joel, you're catching up, man. Okay, now I finally figured out what a Sue's pose is. I guess I could have asked. Are there people here who don't know what the Sue's pose is? I think Joel just confirmed that. But if you don't know, now you know. Baby, baby. El Jamal says, I love saying low key and high key to the kids. They low key hate it, but I high key love it because I'm that dad. Yes, bro. Sip of coffee for El Jamal. Judge Sue's Dread. I am the law. That's great. Fletch says, as a kid in the '70s, one of my favorite pastimes was to smash all the glass bottles that were discarded along the sides of the roads. Can't do that with plastic. I was just thinking about this. I saw this TikTok or something, and it was just like kids. Somebody said something spicy, and then they all laughed and like ran in every direction. And one kid just took his drink and just like smashed it on the ground. And people in the comments were like, "Why that kid just smash his soda on the ground?" And I just thought, because he's a boy, and you just break shit. That's what we do. There's something really destructive about boys. Like sometimes you just there's an exertion of energy. There's a lawlessness that happens in an excitable moment, and then it's over, and then you kind of pay for it afterwards. Like one of the craziest things I used to never understand is like people, and this is no knock on people who have anger problems. If it's you, get some help, bro. I see you. Like dudes who punch walls when they're angry. Like, bro, what are you doing? That's just destructive behavior. But that's just a thing where we're just. It's a culture of human beings who are told to suppress their emotions, and then you don't know what to do with them because there's no outlet. So then you do something stupid and people are mad at you because you did something stupid. But what else are you supposed to do? But yeah, I feel you with that. Yo, it's October, but it's always July. Yo, what up, Julian? Good to see you, bro. What's goody? Yo, Julian, you know what this is? This is brunch weather, fam. What's the fit for brunch this weekend? Jared D says, El Jamal, I will sometimes say, keep it Thor's brother and wait for the groan when they get it. You're funny. Matt says, when I worked at the grocery store in high school, one of my jobs was to sort the bottles by brand, and nobody ever washed them. Lots of bottles found on the roadside, I guess. It was gross. He's showing his age. No smashing glass bottles for me. Turning them in at 3 cents a pop was how I got my candy money. I love it. Well, we got to refresh the chat. I went through all the things. This would be a perfect time for an ID. Oh, man. For a second, I thought you called it pop. But if I know you, you're not a pop person. You're a soda person. Oh, wait a minute. If I think about my regions, it's pop, it's soda, and it's Coke. What do you want to drink? What kind of Coke do you want? Orange. Where is that in the region? Yeah, what up, Chris? Chris says I was a member of the Bottle Smash crew. Yeah, we breaking glass up in here. It's just a weird boy thing. It's like, yo, I'm gonna smash that. Yo, I'm gonna just break this glass, and everybody's gonna be like, yo, man, Chris, chill. See, I love it. See, let's talk about passive aggressive aggression. El Jamal says, I had lots of teammates on my baseball teams that were out for weeks because they got dumped, punched a brick wall, and broke fingers. Yep. I never understood that. Coke. Everything was a Coke. Eastern North Carolina. See? Language is such an interesting thing, and it changes so quickly. I used to talk about how you could tell where somebody was from by. There's a couple of regional things, like what you call a milk. What do you call? Okay, I'm just going to say, I'm going to put this into the chat. What do you call a chocolate and vanilla milkshake where you're from? That's right, because Tahitian Street hates soda. Yo, Fletch says in parts of New Hampshire they call it a tonic. Yo, that's what's up. We talked about trash recycling, HOAs, and lazy college students, and what we call soda. Anybody else? Sue says a chocolate and vanilla milkshake. Okay. Anybody else? He says, I'm also from Eastern North Carolina, but my area was a mix of Coke and soda. So it just kind of varied depending on where you were. Anybody else wants to throw out the chocolate and vanilla? A purple cow. Wow, Mem. I think you got me on that one. I've never heard that one before. What region is that you call it a purple cow? El Jamal on the soda tip. I grew up on El Jamal on the soda tip. I grew up in New Bern, North Carolina, home of Pepsi. It was always soda. They wouldn't dare call it a Coke. Okay, all right. Joel says a swirl. Ange says, isn't a chocolate vanilla a swirl? Now, here's the thing. There's no wrong answers here. It just depends on where you're from or where you're at. Because it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Anybody else? Okay. Did you just make that up? Yeah. Matt says, I'm from all over, so I learned how to talk from TV and Stephen King novels. I didn't know chocolate vanilla milkshake was called anything but a chocolate and vanilla milkshake. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for saving this session. A black and white. That's right. That's what we do in PA. Let me get a black and white shake. All right, bet. Yo, let me get fries. You want salt, pepper, ketchup? Yeah, I want salt, pepper, ketchup. Chris, you're the MVP for me right now, bro. But yeah, there's no wrong answer. Hey, Caitlin, how are you? What's going on? We're just talking about regional things. So, and I talked about this before. I would ask people what you call, this is more like a diner thing. A French fries with cheese sauce and brown gravy. In Philly, and Chris, you can back me up, they call those wets. But then they used to call like really messed up cigarettes wets, but I'm not going to get into that. There's impressionable children watching. But in Jersey, they're called disco fries. Discuss. Should I call it a cop car next time I'm in a diner? Joel says, I'm from Western. There's a lot of North Carolinians in here. Shout out to North Carolina. Cackalack in the building. I'm from Western North Carolina, and we said soda, but knew lots of folks from Charlotte and South Carolina that generalized Coke. Right. What kind of Coke you want? How does that work? Can you say, and let me get a Coke? What kind of Coke? Can you say Sprite? Is that how that works? Or is it only a color? Like, let me get a Coke. What kind? Orange. Poutine, well, you're close. But poutine is really special, right, JRD? Poutine are disco fries, but only because such a thing doesn't exist in the Carolinas. They don't do that in the Carolinas? Joel says, yeah, diners in the South still call them wets. North Cack in the house. Sue says, hilarious. I'm from Asheville. That's how you say it, Asheville. Not Asheville. It's Asheville, which is Western North Carolina. How did I drink decaf tonight? Cackalack. E says, ain't nobody putting gravy on fries around here, bruh. You get out of town with that show business. I love it. Matt says, my Southwestern VA, I used to dribble up in VA. H to the Izzo. College roommates called it pop, which always makes me smile, especially with their accents. So they call it pap. It's pap, right? Isn't that what they would say? Or pop. There's pap. Or pop. I mean, we could talk about Philly dialects all day. About wooder, WOODER is water. I can't do anything. My mouth doesn't do that. Wooder. Pop. Okay. This is fantastic. This is what you get on Coffee Break. You've been waiting all week for this. The second I shut off this video last Thursday, somebody was like, yo, is it Thursday again? Thank you, Jamal. Poutine is Canadian. Fries, gravy, and cheese curds. That's the difference. It's the curds. It's not like whiz or cheese sauce. Joel says, my Ohio fam said pop. JRD says, love gravy on fries. Yo, you see my phone's blowing up? I'm not even looking at it. Whoever that is, stop bothering me. This is Coffee Break. Love gravy on fries, especially good sausage-based brown gravy with extra onions. Here you come with that kitchen talk. July says, do you mean to tell me people disrespect the manna of the gods? Sprite. That's right. You was Sprite. Sprite stand. I love it. There's some people who go hardcore heavy on Sprite. Like, yo, don't ever disrespect Sprite by calling it sister drink Coke. Let me know so I don't go there. Sprite ain't have all the rap commercials to be called anything but Sprite. Put respect on Sprite's name, bruh. I love it. Put respect on it. JRD, I'm not even putting that on the chat. Sorry. Get those Get those dad puns out of here. Flesh says, my wife is from Newfoundland, Canada, so it's poutine all day, a day. all, all day. Lights get dimmer down Biggie Hallway. We can't find the real cheese curds around here, so mozzarella is the substitute with brown gravy. Wow, y'all really trying up there. That's what's up. You know what else is up? You're watching Coffee Break with JN. With JN, aka Jamar Nicholas, my government. Coming to you with that good talk. You know what we do. Every Thursday night, 9 p.m. EST, the greatest man alive. Oh, yeah. Boom, pts, boom, pts. I come to you with an open heart and a mug full of coffee, and I run my mouth and drink it. And when I'm out of coffee, you know what happens next. I want to give a shout out to my GLOs. Good looking out. That's right. If you follow me on Patreon, my Patreon campaign, I call you friend. I also call you Patronus. Patronus! These fine people on the crawl down here support me at a $2 level. And I shout them out every time I do Coffee Break. And you can be one of those people for the cost of, I've been saying this lately, for a cup of ramen noodles, you could support Coffee Break with JN and myself. You get content not seen anywhere else. You also get to see at a certain level the fortnightly, almost award-winning podcast, because we're coming for you, awards. It ain't hard to tell with my best hermano, Mike Hawthorne. Yes, that Mike Hawthorne. The guy who you collect his comics every time you go to the shop. Go to your LCS every week. You see Hawthorne on the racks. We come together. I have a Patreon. He has a Patreon. Our Patreon patrons together ask us questions, and we answer them. And the only people who see those videos, that's right, you get it. So what are you waiting for? Why are you throwing your money away? Right? How many things could you spend $5 on? You could lose $5 walking out of your bathroom. Give it a good home. All right, I see you, Jamal. JRD's trying to trigger July. I'm not gonna add to that. Joel says, I always like when folks say gravy but mean marinara. Yo, you come to South Philly and say spaghetti sauce, they're gonna run you out of town. You're gonna be running so hard down Broad Street, you're gonna be kicking your own butt. You say gravy up in these parts. Oh, El Jamal asked for the coffee check. For all my caffeines out there and for the new people who are watching, what is coffee check? Well, I introduced this a couple of months back. My apprentice Jordan made me these really cool graphics for Coffee Break, and also our P2P cake. Apprentice Jordan made for me. Sip of coffee for Jordan. I get to visually show you how much coffee I have left in my cup. Isn't that great? Isn't that futuristic? So, you know what we always say, like Drake in reverse, started from the top, now we here. So I started this at 100% full cup. This is kind of a lie. Are you ready? This is where we're at. Oh, but it's 45 minutes in. That makes a lot of sense, right? That's about right. At my talking to sipping ratio, my T to S, my T colon S, I think that's 1, right? Joel says, I mean, being a Southern boy, gravy is specific. You know what? All right. I was going to start talking about breakfast. So I'm going to make myself hungry. Jardi says, speaking of nothing, apropos of nothing, good P2P last night. Thank you, sir. I want to think that all the P2Ps are good. I want to think that all the coffee breaks with JNs are good. I want to think everything the sun touches is yours. But you know what? You can't please everybody. There's some people who are like, nah, I'd rather watch the History Channel. Nah. Rachel Maddow's on, right? Tim Fielder. Where's Tim? I haven't seen him in a while. Right? But, going back to the recycling thing, I think if we give our best effort, right? Maximum effort, you'll find a vein of goodness in everything that I try to do. Right? Not everything's a winner, I know, but I've said this millions of times. If you are somebody who's watched Pencil to Pencil because you're just waiting for your favorite whoever to show up, man, you're missing out. How many of you guys have started following new people because of them being on Pencil to Pencil? I'd love to hear about that because, man. And, there's sometimes we have guests on I'm not familiar with until I start researching them for the show. Same thing with Mike, right? And we all learn. We all come out richer on the other end. That's right, El Jamal. Yo, that's not what I was going to put on. Oh, Matt, come on. I know. But you know what? You can always go back and watch it. But that's just it. Don't let them double up. Because, a 2-hour show turns into 4 hours when you miss 2. Thursday Night Football's one. I know that. Plus, our numbers are still up the roof. You can put the game on and have me on your laptop. You can share, right? But it's weird when you have to start thinking that I have to compete with other things. You know what I mean? But I feel like the caffeines get it. You know where real enrichment comes from. And guess what? Joe Buck's not going to say your name on the screen during Thursday Night Football, right? Chris Collingsworth isn't going to say, hey, El Jamal, that was a really good joke, as they don't know you. That's why you're here. For Tabernacle with Coffee Break with JN. Come on, let's do it. Yo, what up, Miguel? Yo, you got some mail coming to you, bro. Check your mailbox soon. Miguel says, followed B. Todd as soon as I saw his art. Yeah, we had a Bertrand Tedesco one. Amazing character designer. I saw him later kind of say that he was like, oh, my accent, or I murdered some words, but it was great, man. I love it. I love the energy. So thanks, Miguel. Sip of coffee for Miguel. You're one of my favorite new caffeines. Matt says, you don't want to watch that Seahawks game anyway. Seattle's wearing those nasty neon green uniforms. Oh, that's what's up. See? I never lie. Sue says, Thursday Night Football is on one in the background. Can't watch it too closely tonight. Those It's almost like you're in the same room. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, it's like I don't want to feel like I have to compete. The people that want to be here are here, right? And that's the cool thing about these being recorded, and they're evergreen. I even tell a guest on Pencil to Pencil, tell your people, tell your constituents, yo, I was on this thing last night. Check it out. It was a great time. Don't hide it. Divide it. Right? And it's funny. I was going through my FB, and you know how you get the memories on Facebook, and there was a picture of me with a little less gray, not a lot, because I've been going gray for a while. Sitting in the same chair, well, not this chair, in the same seat, super close to the camera, doing original flavor coffee break with JN. And the thing said 2 years ago. I've been doing coffee break for like almost 3 years, y'all. And once in a while, a memory will pop up. And I think it's like maybe the first or second one, because I didn't have a schedule yet. And I was just kind of doing when I felt like it. And I think the original coffee breaks were like Monday night at 9. and somehow we wound up on Thursday. I don't know how that happened. I think I settled on Thursday when we were doing pencil to pencil Wednesday and Saturday night, bruh. But I like Thursday. I like Thursday because it's the callback to must see TV, and 9 o'clock is just late enough that I can still be alert, but it's not. I have to scramble to get in here because it's 8. That's right. Your internet safe space. Love it. Thanks, Johnny Carson. I appreciate that. Thursday nights are must see JN. I love it. I love it. And for the Ringos, I gotta bust out a Sue's pose. Freeze frame Sue's pose. Freeze frame Sue's pose. And you know what? It's funny. Joel just said he didn't know what was going on, but as much as I say Sue's name and Sue's name and Sue's name on here, and then if you're looking up and you see Sue's come across the crawl, and she's doing this, right? And that just shows the family, right? It's just like I love that the caffeines, and this was one of the things I was saying a while ago. I'm almost afraid for this to get too big, as I've talked about the Guitar Hero. If you ever get on Insta or you went to somebody's versus video, and there's like the chat is like guitar, I call it Guitar Heroing, up the side of the screen, and there's hearts and there's laughs and there's likes and there's thumbs, and like that's not engaging, you know. Ghostface Killer isn't looking at the screen and going, "Yo, man, what's up? Yo, you're my favorite person. I see you. Sip of coffee." No, Ghostface Killer is not talking to you on the verses. I am. There's currency there, right? And that's what we get from this, is that there's enough people here, there's enough caffeines here that we can have an engaging hour of conversation, and it's not overloaded. I think that's special. Let's smell the roses, you guys. So I forgot what we were we were just running, and I was thinking about, I was going to talk about some more regional food things. So also, and this is pretty easy. We've talked about, because I'm a Philadelphian, right? If you've been to Philly, you know how much of an interesting place Philadelphia is. As we say all the time, Philadelphia is a city made of neighborhoods. Philly is not just one thing, but I think the outside world thinks Philadelphia is Will Smith, Fresh Prince. Maybe not as much because the world is bigger now. But if you ever went somewhere and they go, "Yo, your energy is like mad interesting. Where you from?" "Y'all from Philly." West Philadelphia. But, ugh. And ironically enough, I am from West Philly, but you can go through 8 or 9 different neighborhoods in Philly, and the dialect is different, right? Cats from South Philly, if you think about the Rocky Hey Yo South Philly dialect, is very South Philly. Then there's a little bit of a cross with Northeast Philly, and cats from Germantown have their own way of speaking. You know what I'm saying? So when you have shows like Always Sunny, or anything else that's supposed to be in Philly, people are just like, "Oh, you don't sound like you're from Philly." Philly's its own thing, right? So, but one thing that we all have in common is food, as we talk about all the time, and people just assume every night I open my refrigerator, and like an old Snoop Dogg video, you open a refrigerator and there's just cheesesteaks lined up in the fridge. Can't eat that stuff every night, bro. It'll kill you. But if you go to another town and it says Philadelphia cheesesteak, I might have to just test you. I might have to go behind the grill, go behind in the kitchen and make one just to show y'all how it was done. But anyway, I digress. Here in Philly, we call uh, cold sandwiches on a long roll with meat and cheese and lettuce and all that a hoagie. That's a shout out to Delco, a hoagie. Uh, Also, Tina Fey's from Delco, right outside of Philly, in Upper Darby. Um, but all across the region, people call that sandwich something else. Subs, heroes, in New England they call them grinders. But here in Philly, if you ask for a grinder, they're going to heat up your sandwich and the roll. That's a whole other thing. It's a hoagie, but it's hot, so that's a grinder. Um, and then they have like Jersey Mike subs, and I don't even know why Jersey Mike subs is in Philly. Just go to New Jersey and get your sub. But whatever, whatever. Don't get me started. You like that hoagie? It's a hoagie. Yo, what up, Joel? They got Wawa's up your way? Wawa is crawling up through the U.S. Wawa was a strictly like southeastern Pennsylvania thing. It was Philly, kind of went into Delaware, a couple of points south and north. But I'm seeing more Wawas further out. And that used to be the thing. It was Wawa versus Sheets with a Z. And people would have fist fights over who had the best food. And then somebody just came out and was just like, yo, Wawa is trash. And like those almost fighting words. Let me stop riffing. Mim says, like, really, keep Jersey and Camden. Joel says there's a Wawa's in Florida now? Yo, I had no idea. July says, yo, when I think of Philly, I just think of the Eagles, the Eagles. 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 Sixers, Rocky, that Marky Mark movie, and Beanies. Yo, shout out to Beans. I stay forgetting the Fresh Prince show started in Philly. He's West Coast now. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, there's very specific Philly things people think of. When Allen Iverson was shaking up the world, they were like, "Yo, he's Philly," but he's not. He's from the DMV, right, July? But he embodied so much Philadelphia-ness. We embraced him. There's like, AI, you're one of us. I love it. July says, yo, they got Wawa in DC now without the gas station. The gas station Wawa, they call those super Wawas. Just the inside part to get the sandwiches. And if you know that the Wawa logo is a Canadian goose, which I believe is the Native American term for a goose or something like that. I used to know that, but I'm forgetting. Mem asked me if I'm going to fireworks Sunday. I'm not. I don't like. I've never. Maybe we could talk about this real quick. I do not like public events. I hate public events. I'm not going to the 4th of July, John. I'm not going to Made in America. I'm not going to any place where I got to keep watching my back. I don't like crowds. I don't like mob mentality. I think people do dumb shit when there's a lot of people present and they can hide in plain sight. I avoid that if I can. Like, I'm okay with things. I don't get like, wiggly about it, but it's just like I don't like the energy of a lot of people in one place. It's very easy for things to go sideways, and I'm way too old to be running. So the short answer is no, but thanks for asking. Joe, okay, maybe this is what we'll do to close out the show. If you're not from Philly, what do you think is Philadelphian? This is great. Joel says Philly, Rocky statue, chairs in street, cheesesteak, water ice. Yes, I was right. Wawa is a Native American word for the Canadian goose. Thank you. I know something. Oh, John. Like somebody's got to say John, right? Matt says about public events. I hate stuff like that until I'm there. Then I have a good time, but getting me there is hard. Yo, like I also, it took me a long time to, man, I got to get through this coffee. It's already an hour. You guys are getting an extended coffee break with JN because I put too much coffee in this mug. Um, it took me a long time to start traveling because I used to feel for the longest time that I didn't like being a visitor in somebody else's place. Like, how dare you show up and like step over other people and like take pictures of other people's way they live in a culture. I had a lot of lofty things that used to keep me in a 6 block radius, right? Um, but I also don't. I know how to travel in familiar places. Like, I'm a city kid. People may forget that. People might think I'm whatever, but I grew up and I survived Philadelphia in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I think I deserve a golf clap for that. So there's some things I just know how to do. But when you're in a different place, you're, especially, in my case, and even being a black person traveling abroad, all those things, you can, in a crowd full of white people, I stand out. I stand out anyway. But there's things that we don't really have in Philly that they have in, like in Europe. Pickpockets. You don't get pickpocketed in Philly because they'll just run up on you like, yo, you know what this is, run it in. It's very bold. It's very in your face. There's no sleight of hand, sly flourish. It's somebody's like right up in your face, like, yo, give it up, run it in. So it's just like, you know, you get really wary when people want to approach you because it's just like, oh, this is the okey doke. I'm waiting for the waiting for the fix. When I was in Europe, we went to France once and we were in Paris for a while, and I was on high alert the whole time. I couldn't enjoy it. Like the Eiffel Tower is nothing but pickpockets and thieves, yo. No disrespect to Paris. I love it. It's a beautiful town. But you got to stay away from the tourist traps because the second you look up, somebody's coming at your pocket. Right. And, I to be so far from home and having your shit go missing is a nightmare to me. And things like that make me never enjoy things. That's probably another reason I don't like crowds. I don't want, I'm like I'm on like a red alert the whole time I'm in a crowd. So if you know it's good for you, keep your distance from me. Matt says he's never heard John until, well, I'll give you that. You learned a lot from me, Matt Waringo. El Jamal says Adonis Creed is Philly for my kids, but he's from LA. They call him Hollywood in it. But Creed was a fantastic movie. Creed 2, not so much. But if you want a good modern primer of Philly, or especially Black Philly, you should watch Creed. They went to Max's on Broad and Erie and Germantown Avenue to get cheesesteaks from Max's. That's what's up. That's a good pick. July says AI is from the Seven Cities part of VA, Hampton specifically. He ended up going to college at Georgetown. Yep. Then ended up in Philly, and he got all the love of the Mid-Atlantic. The Seven Cities got a lot of talent coming from it. That's what's up. Yo, everybody loves AI. AI could be mayor of Philadelphia tomorrow. Everybody would vote for him. Hey, Ange, what's up? You've been quiet tonight. Ange says, OMG, you're right. I love Paris too, but there are way too many pickpockets, scammers, etc. I keep my messenger bag very close to my torso with my hand in it all the time. Was so mentally exhausted. Yeah, I mean, sip of coffee for people who can just be oblivious and walk down the street. I told some of my white friends, you know who you are. Yo, how you walking down the street with your wallet in your back pocket? What's wrong with you? That's not where I came from, yo. You gotta keep your shit where you can see it, yo. Eljamal says, I love the Creed movies. I think I need to watch them again soon, like tonight. I think that's your late night movie tonight. So hold on, I'm being pinged. I hope this is good. Somebody told me to wrap it up. Is that what's happening? What is this? That's hilarious. All right, you guys are funny. So we won't give out too much information, but Matt says my wallet stays in my side pocket, and when I travel, there's nothing in it. Yo, I know all types of okey dokes. Like you have the dummy wallet, stash wallet. When we were growing up, you go to the check cashing spot and cash your check. And you put half of it in your sock. You don't ever had a full joint in your pocket, yo. You got to split that up. And says some people keep their iPhone in their back pockets too. I'm not willing to join the oblivious crew. But you know what? That seems like such a, and you know, anytime I talk about the sexes, I'm not throwing shade. I'm just being observant. Like I feel bad for most women because the like half of the pants will have pockets in it, and that's just like a boom back pocket. And I don't know, like I guess like where else are you going to put your phone? But yeah, man, because you don't want to mess up your profile of your jeans with a bulky thing hanging out the side of it. But we could discuss. Sue says, I put all my money in my bra in Paris. Boop. And what are those packs you wear around your neck inside your shirt? Oh, I've seen those. But it's funny that fanny packs have come back into fashion. People are just rocking fanny packs now. I think they have a new name for them, like clout purses or something, but it's still a fanny pack. Yeah, so some of my other favorite things, I've never owned one, but I find them entertaining, is the belt wallet where it's got like a place you can put your money inside the belt buckle and all types of crazy shit. It's all about trying to keep your money in your person. JRD says my wallet isn't a wallet and it stays in the front pocket. Yeah, that sounds dangerous. That sounds like the new Philly Creed, F around and find out. Is that what you're saying, JRD? Sue says all pants should have side leg pockets for your phone. But as we all know, a lot of our crew, right, Sue's, like Craig Rousseau, yo, and my man Rich, those cargo pants cats, the cargo short crew. I'm gonna call you guys the CSC. High fashion doesn't like cargo shorts. They don't like dudes wearing cargo shorts. Don't you have better shorts? Why are you wearing cargo? Because they're comfortable and I can put my shit in them. I get it. I don't wear them myself, but I get it. I used to. But, you know, guys don't have a lot of options. Come on, give us a break. Guys don't really, we can't have anything anyway. Just let us have cargo shorts. July says, I got two phones. They can't both go in the same pocket. It is hard to tell which one is ringing if they're in the same pocket. You're like, I love it. This is so fun. We're going to start wrapping up. I only did one ID tonight. JRD says, yeah, fanny packs never went out of style in Germany. Yeah, like when we were in Europe, like I said, when I travel, I try to do as much as I can to not culture vulture or appropriate. I want to fit in. So, I had my real thin soled European sneakers, Rock had the man purse, you know what I mean? You flex on them, had the collar up, you know what I mean? You had to pop it on them. I get it. Because that's just how people rock. You know what I mean? Had some low profile Diodoras on. It's so good. I got to go back to France. Ange says people could keep their iPhones in messenger bags, front pockets, cargo pants with deep pockets and zippers to keep them shut, etc. Anywhere but the back pocket. It's just Philly's not a pickpocket town. But yeah, I totally understand. Oh, look at you, fancy. All right, last thing. So, like, especially with guys, yo, Sue, screenshot this so we can hold it over JRD's head. Russo's going to come for you. Is wallets for all the guys out there or the ladies. If you have a wallet, do you have a dad wallet, like a thick leather thing with everything you've ever owned in it, or do you have like one of those thin, like modern wallets with like a money clip? Are you a money clip guy? I know a lot of South Philly cats who rock money clips. It's just like, again, no cap, but like I know a lot of Italians. That's just how they hold money. And it's real sexy though. You'd be out and be like, yeah, I got that. Fit, 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 fit. And they just like throw it on the counter. I should have been in anthropology or something. I love studying people. Um, yeah, what kind of wallet do you rock? Ann says in a jacket or cardigan with good pockets. Yes. Fletch is a member of good standing of the CSC, the cargo short crew, because guys don't have purses. Joel says, I love cargo shorts. The folks who hate them skinny children. Chris says, I have a trifold Velcro wallet. That's the best noise. I love it. E says, leather wallet, but I try to keep it as thin as possible. I need to work on that. But you know what, though? If I feel like if I have like a real thin wallet, I'll lose it or I'll forget it. Because there's something about having that weight in your pocket that if it's missing, it's very noticeable immediately. Like, shit, where's my wallet? But when you like, what was that Seinfeld episode where George had the fat wallet and they all made fun of him? There's got to be a medium. And says mine used to be this black leather dad wallet that I would shove everything in. I love dad wallet. Bim says I have a regular dad wallet. Fantastic. Guys, we talked that good talk tonight. You came here for Tabernacle. You got it. This week sucked. And the only thing that's good is that the weeks seem to be going by quickly. Somewhere in the beginning of this week, you got into it with your significant other because you're just cranky. And you don't want to apologize because you're right in your heart. And you look in the mirror and go, is it Thursday yet? You got to work late and you sit in the parking lot and you try to call your coworker and like, yo, punch me in. And they're like, yo, but the boss is standing right here and she just heard you. You look at the camera and say, is it Thursday yet? You need this. And I'm here to give it to you. Too quickly, bruh. El Jamal says, trifold wallet. Boop, boop, boop. Never any cash. Always black. You a gambling man? Always bet on black. Never any branding on it. Always in the back pocket. Oh, okay, El Jamal. Cash in a roll, always in the front. Lessons from dad. You know what I mean? I love good dad lessons. You'll be all right, GRD. You'll get ready for the show. All right, you guys. I want to put this to bed. Suze, you know what to tell them. Say your goodbyes, y'all. We went a whole 15. It's crazy. Andrew Neil, dude, what are you doing here? Yo, sip of coffee for my man Andrew Neil, my favorite cartoonist working today. I'll say that in public because I mean it. If you're not reading Meeting Comics, fix that immediately. Correct that behavior. Andrew says, I got to get back to drawing a page, but I'm popping in to tell you I have a Stoopy wallet from 1965. Man, you get a lot of clout when you're in the Target pulling that bad boy out. See, look, the love is real. Matt's like, support Andrew's Kickstarter, y'all. You know it, bro. You need to come around more often. You need to be a caffeine. Let's fix that. That's what we're doing this year. It's corrective behavior. Fix that shit. Fix your face. My mother used to say that when you're crying and being all out of pocket about stuff. Fix your face. Fix it. Look at that, man. Andrew, you got to give a plug for the Kickstarter. Look at, see, come on, man. This is Tabernacle. All right, last thing. Anne says, what wallet have you owned that was your favorite? I was getting gimmick wallets. There was this is like before Etsy and all this. There were like these people that were doing really like trippy, arty crafts wallets, and they would have these artisans that would make these really cool, like, not the Tyvek wallets that were popular for a minute, with these really cool prints on it. And I was really getting into those, and I should have just stocked up on them. But one of the things is they don't last long, and I'm rough on things. So, like, I would just destroy them. But one of my favorite wallets is I had a bacon wallet, and it looked like an uncooked piece of bacon. It was a trifold. And if you go deep into my Facebook messages, like, I've been on Facebook way too long, I gave it a Viking funeral, and I was like, R.I.P. Bacon wallet. That was my favorite wallet. But you know, I just keep it simple now. Suze, yes, it has been. Go support Andrew Neil Meeting Comics. That's right, where the rent went. Go. See, Andrew just came on here to put himself over. That's really what's happening. I know how you operate, bro. I think JRD's going to top you up. All right. Good night. Good night. Oh, shit. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN. I'm going to get canceled. Some call me Maurice. Other people call. Oh, this one just came up last night on Pencil to Pencil. Kevin Scrapple. Because I got to be better than Kevin Bacon. Captain Scholastic to some. Your internet best friend to others. What happened here tonight? I don't, where are those goodbyes at? Come on, y'all. I got thrown off. You came here to watch me drink coffee and run my mouth, and I've done both of those successfully tonight. So there you go. Good night. Good night. I was waiting for my good nights. Where my good nights at? Now that I have, dude, I'm out. Oh, hold on. Well, okay, here it comes. Now everybody's jumping up. Yeah, Andrew, thanks, bro. Mess up the flow. El Jamal calls for a final coffee check. I will do that for you. Just for you, my man. Last we looked, we were at 50. I gotta turn my shit off. You ready? Started from the top. Now we here. I haven't seen this one in a while. Oh, now that I'm out of coffee, y'all, the video is over. See you next week.